And we're live. Thank you for coming back to the GiSquad once again, where we have created a space to talk about all that life has to offer us on and off the mats. Today's episode is about men's overconfidence versus women's lack thereof, and how that translates in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We could probably talk about this for quite some time.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a woman, so I can relate to that first. When I first came in, I'm a confident on the inside, mostly, but then, obviously this is, I was pushed down a notch a little bit the moment I stepped on the mats. Humbled. Because I see how humbled, it's hard. Just a warm up, put me on my feet. Mm-hmm. And then watching all the moves, like I knew I wasn't going to do it right out the box, but I've always been very athletic. And, I figured, okay, I'll get there. I'm still there all the time. You'll get there. Where I was a year ago and where I am now is far and above, what I thought. So that's cool. I don't really have anything to prove to anyone, so I don't really care to get on the mats and think that ever. I think the days you do, you might get squashed because there's always someone faster, stronger, better, all those things. But my most guilty pleasure is watching a man who thinks he's the shit walk onto the mats and realize that it's hard. And, you cannot go to the gym and lift weights and, be this perfect looking muscle head and then get on the mats and also be good at that right out the gate. Mm-hmm. You might be good, but you're going to be humbled. Yep. For sure. I think everybody, I can't speak for a black belt because I kind of can, I think that Professor would say he's humbled too. I mean, he's humbled by his surroundings because he is a very humble person. But I don't think your level has anything to do with it. I don't think, your ego, first of all, it's a very personal thing. Every single person has it, no matter your gender. It is your self-esteem. That's all it is. It's also the link between your conscious and your unconscious. So what you don't even know about yourself is your ego. And you will find something out about yourself on the mats. That is a fact.
So where this is like the most evident is people getting into the door at jiu-jitsu. It's like, this is where it's like super clear to me, the difference. Guys, when they walk in the door for their first class, I'm not saying like recurring classes and after that learning, but for that first class, you see guys walk in all the time and they might be nervous. For sure. They're probably nervous. They've probably texted some friends or whatever saying that they're a little worried about it. But they walk in like super confident, chest open, they might work out. So they tend to think like, I can do this, And so I think they go in with the mentality of like, all right, cool. I'm going to learn a couple moves. I'm going to get this. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome, whatever. Whereas you see the women that walk in and for them, they're not thinking like, I can do this. Instead, they're thinking like, can I do this at all?
Yeah, they're asking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we wonder if we're capable of. And so that was the biggest thing about this topic that was fascinating to me is that this is why we have a women's only class, because I think we often wonder like, why do we have this? Why do we need it? And it's for that reason, because for women, the most important thing is we need to feel empowered. Mm-hmm. Men already, for the most part, feel empowered. They already feel like they can do all these cool things and they have a lot of power and control. Women, we don't realize that about ourselves. And it's something where in the women's class, we're able to pull that out and show that we too can do this. I think the world constantly tells us women that somebody can beat us up. Somebody bigger can beat us up. They can control us. They can, all these different things that put us kind of further down on the pedestal. And this is one class that we have where we show you like, no, guess what? You can also do these things. And
especially in a male-dominated sport.
Exactly. I was going to say that.
It is. Yeah. And it's huge. And that's why we need that class for that first experience to be that. the empower. It's like the best word for it. It's just the empowerment that it gives you. I went to a school that was non-GB, and I was visiting a different state, and I went to the school, and I had like an unpleasant experience where, and it was just during specific, it was just during like technique, and then during the role where I rolled with the professor, and it was really aggressive, and I did not feel safe at all. If that had been my first experience for jiu-jitsu, it would have been completely off the table, because I don't need to feel unsafe somewhere else. We've all been in that position before where we felt unsafe, and I don't need that. I need you to show me that I can take control and I can get myself out of that position. So making me feel less than is not going to get you to get me signed up for that jiu-jitsu gym. No. I need to feel empowered. Whereas guys, like, they need to be humbled. It's like you said, it's kind of cool to watch when the guy walks in and he's like, thinks he's got it. I'm going to have this day one. And then they get beat up by a teenager or a younger woman, older woman, whatever. Or one of us. Or one of the smaller guys. It's awesome. Yeah. And it's humbling. And they're like, and instead their mentality usually is, if they can do that to me, like, whoa, I need to learn this. And it's a different motivational factor for both genders. And for the most part, obviously always exceptions, but for the most part, there's that, it's a different motivating factor.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Even in the opposite sense of what you're talking about, I think for women too, like for men, they see that and they're like, I'm not going to tap to a girl.
Yeah.
And I think it fires them up more.
Yeah.
And women can feel that. Like I can feel that with someone I'm rolling with, especially a male, and I have felt it on multiple occasions where I'm rolling with them. And when I pick up my strength a little bit, like really pick it up in certain bursts that I'm trying to, control and do now, they match it and then some. And sometimes that can also be like a mistake. Because for me, I'm trying to trick certain people into certain movements. And because men they rely so much on their strength and not so much on like technique and agility at first, really, or even flexibility. And we have those things. It actually, I think that's the part that really does start to empower women. Like, because it's not just about your body, it's about your mind too. And it's about, trying to think ahead. It's preemptive. And then, the sequences also come in. But for women, for us, we can move in small areas usually. We can usually move a little faster. We're more flexible. And to them, I don't think men, like you said, realized that.
I don't think they expect it.
I don't think they expect it either. And when they do, they're like, oh.
Yeah.
They kind of freeze. I've had like 1 or 2 times where I felt one of the guys, I think I would have great guys, but I felt them freeze and then like, oh shit. And like they like try to overcompensate because they underestimate us. And I mean, society, that's what they want us, that's what the world wants us to feel, right?
And let's get real. I mean, men are stronger than women. That's just a fact. Yeah. It's a biological fact, but, we're also there to learn something. So it's the ego that steps in and, I can manhandle you, like my favorite key phrase, manhandle you, but then you have Ninja Girl over here come in and wrap her legs around your neck and
tie you in a pretty bow.
Exactly.
It's a nice bow.
The environment also, the gym is very masculine already. So I think okay, I got that. It's just one more, so I can, I can do that, or it makes them more confident. I think also, and for us, it's very important to have,
Safe.
Female and be safe in a female class, because at least to start,
absolutely.
to feel that you can, I can, but I can still be with the guys after, I think is important.
Yeah, I agree. And our guys are so great too. Most of our guys, even if I think it's rare that I tap them, because our guys are great and we've all kind of grown together, and a lot of them are just so powerful and strong and just very physically like equipped.
They got good technique too.
They do have great technique. But I mean, sometimes afterwards, like the few times I've ever tapped any of the guys out, they're so humbled and they're so nice. They're like, that was great. Like that was freaking awesome what you did. So it feels good. It feels like you're looking at someone like, like you guys are equals.
You got street credit.
Yeah. Like you're respected. you know, and it's a good feeling because it's like, yeah, I am here. I deserve to be here. And just because it's, you know, the sport is dominated by men, it does not mean that it continues or has to continue to be.
So it takes that question that we walk in with and it turns it into a statement.
Yeah.
Basically. You answer your own question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I think for the men, sorry, when two men train together, it's almost primal.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like it's like very
there's
to
grunting.
the core. When we roll together, two girls together, we'll laugh, we'll talk to each other. And I think we have, maybe I'm wrong, but I think women have that facility to step back and say, oh, yeah, I could have done this, but done this or done that, and not being mad and just learn from it right away. Like say, put it in my mind, next time I'll try to go deeper or do this, you know, stronger. But when you combine together, it's funny, like the dynamic between when a guy roll with a girl, how it's so different. Like how either they're gonna go soft. I don't want to say softer because we also
They'll dial it down.
Yes, and they'll try to match our energy. And I
Yeah.
think most of the guys we train with are pretty good at doing this. It's funny how it brings us like that push. And Amanda and I are bigger girls, so we're comfortable with men because we can go full force and we can put our strength when I roll with you three.
But I think we
Right.
surprise them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
and it brings that confidence, that boost, but then not getting cocky about it either.
Yeah.
So sorry
Yeah.
for
Yes,
that.
Yeah.
No, you said it right.
Yeah, and I mean, I like to see when I sit by the wall and watch people rolling, two boys, two girls, or boys and girl. I love to see that.
The difference.
Yeah, the level of energy and the level of respect, and but then it's funny. Some guys have more pride than others, and some
Yeah.
girls too. I
agree.
mean, we all have it, but yeah, it's interesting to see from a sitting outside and see, and then when you do it, to adjust to it too.
It changes their game too. If you think
Yes.
about it, I mean, it makes you just more of a dynamic player. That's why I don't understand. I understand, but on the other side, I don't really understand schools where they only have specific classes where they're not. It's just for men and women. It's not co-ed. I love that our school is co-ed because I think that, you know, we both help each other. We both bring different things to the table and to the matches. Obviously, if everybody's being respectful, you know, and you're not just trying to hurt someone or your opponent, but like if you have to dial down your strength, right, and say you're going 60 or 70%, and then you have to rely on the remainder of that with your technique combined. I'm making you better at your technique because you are being forced. If you are respectful and if you're respectful towards your partner, because there are men who are not, you know, you're being forced to change your game. You're being forced to either slow down or pick up the pace, or depending on who we are, what we are, our size, whatever it is, it's going to change a little bit. You're going to have to change a little bit. And vice versa for us. Like I have to use a little bit more of my strength and a little bit less of my technique in certain areas with men because, you know, I'm thinking more so like I have to protect myself too. And for them, I think it would be kind of the opposite. So, I mean, in a way, we both do need each other. Yeah.
Yeah, when we were talking about this topic, and I was mainly trying to figure out why it is that women feel more comfortable joining a women's first. Yeah. Right. And it's even for me, because that was how I started. I started in a women's class. I remember just joining that first. But I'm a type of person who I just went to all of them afterwards, you know, but that's not the case for everybody. And I was trying to figure out like what makes it so different. Why is that first step important for women to have? And it's because I think it helps you build the confidence first, and then because if your first interaction is getting beat up by a guy's class, it's going to be very different. But if you boost first and then you're okay with joining the...
I agree, because it was harder for me at first. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to roll with one of these guys and they're not going to go full out on me. Like that's nice and everything, and that's all pretty and whatever you want to say, or that you know, these guys are great, especially me not really knowing anybody from Adam when I first started. I mainly rolled with Natalie, and I mean, I think that was it. Like here and there, I did like maybe a couple of rolls with different guys who are like around my size, but other than that, like I really didn't I rolled a lot with just girls because of that, because I was,
So for me,
afraid, kind of.
Well, it wasn't for me personally. When I say I wouldn't be here because of, without you girls, it's for this exact reason first why I was like, yeah, sure, I'll step on the mats. And I'm normally the one that is like, oh, I'll do it no matter who else is involved. I didn't know you guys from Adam, so it was more like, I don't need to be in a man's sport right now. I don't need to be thrown around. I don't need to be freaking hurt. I have zero to prove. I want to be fit and I want to try something new. And, again, didn't have applications out for friends. But at the same time, I was like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. That step that you guys took in our personal gym, that was the reason that I started. Her and I started exactly the same time. And I don't think either one of us would have started if you guys weren't already on the mats. No. And it has nothing to do, I'm not afraid of them, as you well know. Right. I'm not afraid of anything or any man. But I just didn't want to do it. Why do I want to? I can go home and wrestle with my husband. That's bonkers.
You're so right about it. I remember my first day you were there. We took a picture, and you said, "Don't worry, it's gonna be fine." And I was a mess inside. I was like, "What am I doing?" She's like, "Let's go, let's step." And we went on the mat and we did that class.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah,
and it's so it's I don't know. Sorry, the word don't come.
Empowering.
But empowering, and it makes you feel so. And so I'm capable, like you said. I can do it. I can do anything. And then after that, Nettie was there. You were there. We were all there. And then I remember the first class I went. It was a Wednesday. No girl was there. And I was like,
remember.
I almost. I was like, where were you? And I stepped on. Professor was so nice. Like, don't worry. Who you're comfortable with rolling? And I ended up with a guy about my size, just a little bigger, but super nice, like understanding and patient with me. But when professor said, don't worry, like tell me who you want to roll with, we'll go. And then I had a roll with professor at the end of the class, and I was like, oh my God, he's going to say, what is she doing there? But I was in my head a lot. But then after that, I was like, I did it. And I'm fine. I text you that I would never do it. Only men class after that. That was in the moment. But honestly, it gave me that extra boost. But that I would have not, if it would have been my first class, I don't think I would have go back.
So, and that's the thing too, is we have so much fun. And I'm a firm believer, not only through teaching 1,000-pound animals to do things, but also raising children, which is like having 1,000-pound animals. You learn when you have fun, right? You just do. Your brain processes it differently. It absorbs it, it articulates it, and it regurgitates it. And it becomes a habit much easier when you're having fun. Yes. So if we have a bunch of men that are like ready to be primal, like you said, because that's a perfect word for it. I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to have fun, but I can also learn, because that's how I know I'm going to learn better.
Yes.
But if it was just men in the place, I'm no thanks. It's not for me, and I wasn't looking for, girl circle either, but this is the perfect match of it, because we can have fun enough that we can learn the techniques, and then when we want to, we can go choose to be primal too.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the female class is very important for the lack of confidence. When you start and you'll be there, but we're gonna relate it to someone.
Yeah.
There's us, and they're gonna be related, and it will be. But I think the co-ed class is definitely important for the development.
Yeah,
I don't think
you need to continue on.
You know what I see when I go to Brazil also, and I go to the female class, which is packed. It's a lot of competition, between everyone. So I think I just, when I go, I go to the female once in a while, and my sister-in-law goes, I go to the co-ed more. We both like the co-ed more because there's no much
drama.
I feel like it breaks it up a little bit. Like it breaks up all that
drama. They have a good female community for do the things also outside. But when but it's important to be. I think it's for me when I think my sister-in-law also, like, we like the mixed class.
Yeah, trauma
Definitely.
aside, I think after attending the women's class, it's important to push on to the co-ed because
Yeah.
you get, like you said,
Yes.
you wouldn't, if it didn't happen naturally where there was only guys at that one class, maybe you would have continued to just roll with women.
Exactly.
You know, but guess
For
what? Now
development,
you're learning
yes.
so much more
More.
by rolling with everybody, and the real world is also everybody.
Exactly.
I like I said, trauma aside, I think it's important for your growth to roll with everybody. You know, different sizes, different genders. It's wonderful.
Yeah, Professor basically, I don't want to say made me, but he made it very clear to me that I wasn't doing myself any justice by continuing to stay in my comfort zone of you guys, because I know you won't hurt me. I know I know all your tricks. Like, I could just let you do them. And that was the thing. And then I also wasn't using my strength. I wasn't using myself or using, I was pussyfooting around all of the techniques because I can't bear my weight on you the same. And then he just gave me a challenge, and he's totally right.
I think I pushed my husband onto you also.
I agree. You actually did.
Yes.
And I'm very thankful for that.
I think Julio a little
And
bit too.
Julio was the first one to reach
good.
out, as
Yeah.
he always is.
Yeah.
And that was such a feel good thing too, because he's not a small dude.
No.
And still, obviously I felt totally inadequate, but at the same time,
He has a way of doing that,
I
everybody.
was thankful
He's a
that
brown
I
belt.
could try, before
Yeah.
and not feel bad. Because sometimes if I try on you guys, I feel like I'm going to hurt you. Because and then you just do some slidey move thing, and end up on my back and my head, and you're like a little spider monkey, and
Yeah, the co-ed class definitely build your
important.
confidence also,
Yes.
Yes,
with
I
the
agree.
guys. So
I
when
should
you
say
just
too,
move.
sorry not to interrupt, but when I started, I wouldn't have said, oh yeah, I'm totally down for just for co-ed to roll with guys and girls, because I thought it was weird to begin with. You watched our first episode, I thought it was weird. I thought everybody getting so close was weird. I was like, then my boyfriend gonna be with other people and I'm gonna be with other people. Like, how's that? Weird. But it's not. It's not at all. It's just, especially when you have respect for the sport and respect for the people that you do the sport with. And no, in the beginning, I was like, I don't think I'm going to roll. The only person I really think I rolled with was Julio and maybe Jamie once or twice.
Yeah.
It might have been Jamie once. I don't know. That's Emily's husband. Sorry, Jamie.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, but they were the only ones. And maybe a couple of others. That was it. And then I stopped for a while because I didn't want to get hurt. Especially competing, which I felt like that actually held me back. Looking back at it now that I roll more with men, I'm really trying to. All sizes except for Jonathan. I'm not rolling with Jonathan. Sorry, Jonathan. You're big,
Big
dude.
John. There's a reason it's called Big John.
Big boy.
Big dude. I don't think you want to roll with us.
No.
Yeah, he's But I am trying to expand that, and I think in expanding that a little bit, it's opened up my game more. Not just I'm not I shouldn't have said scared or fearful. It's more so I'm apprehensive just because I know of all my other responsibilities in the back of my head. That I have to make sure I can at least walk out of here at the end of it, and other people to take care of. But, I thought there's no way a guy's going to go easy on me, especially when I didn't know our guys.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, you
No.
have to choose your men wisely.
Yes.
That's an understatement, huh? But yeah, there are still men that I will probably say no to. And
Yeah.
It is what it is.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's all right. And I don't know, what do you guys think? I had one question written down here. So how do you think the way societal norms are now? I know that we feel this shift in the world, right? Where it's starting to change, where, and I'm starting to see it even in my job, where it used to be the husband would take care of the wife, go to work, the wife would stay home, take care of the kids, she was the homemaker, husband was the breadwinner, right? Now we're starting to see this shift in our society, where it's starting to either switch or merge a little bit, where, either both partners are working and they both try to take care of the kids, and work together, or you have the wife that's the breadwinner and the husband that stays at home and takes care of the kids. It's becoming a little bit more equal. How do you think, though, prior to this, as this has just started to happen maybe in the last decade, at least for me, where I would understand it, how do you think that translates into jujitsu?
Oh, that's the ego for sure. First of all, I want to know who put us back in the workforce. I will take my apron back any day now.
I've let down. But I think it's had a huge impact.
I think you're right. I think we probably see men accepting us on the mats a little bit more because we go to work with them. I work in a man's environment. I am normally the only woman besides my boss in any meetings at all. And and if she ever tells people I'm in jujitsu, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna listen to her." Yeah. But yeah, I see it. I'm just trying to take a personal inventory of the guys in our gym, and I think that they're a little bit more accepting. There's always those couple.
Yeah.
But I think overall, it's more accepting.
Yeah.
Right? What do you guys
think
say?
so too.
And I think that professor do a good job also to remind how when he started, his dream was to have girls on the mat in the studio, and he keeps saying it. And I think it showed the men that are on the mat also to. It's a world that the women can be there and they can beat your ass. Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think that it's giving us that confidence too. Like we were saying, it's empowering us to realize like. They can also make dinner, It's not just on me. Why does it have to always just be on the woman, So it's kind of giving us more steps and making things a little bit better in that sense. Yeah,
I think the world today, I don't know for you, but in our house, my husband do laundry, dishes, mop the floor. We share, we do together.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to have an open mind to those type of things, but some men are still stuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Way far.
And there's nothing wrong with that because, again, I want my apron back.
Yeah.
I still want to do jujitsu,
I believe in
though.
that family structure. So
I want to do jujitsu. So
I wanna do
like, support that.
Yeah, but if we didn't have to work, we could do it so much more.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I work on oil rigs for a long time, and it was kind of like 160, 107 guys, and like maybe 3, 4, sometimes pushing 5 women's.
Wow.
And they used to tell me like, why you not back home like behind the stove?
Why don't you go make
They
me a
used to tell me
sandwich?
like that. It was bad. And I was like, listen, dude, I'm here just like you need for the money. So I'll be here. You respect me, or I'm gonna have to report you.
I call it mansplained.
And then I see that.
That's a real thing. Mansplaining.
Yeah, and then I see, like more and more and more we're gonna have women on the mats,
I think so too.
because it's
definitely becoming more popular.
it's more popular, more open, like
So, gentlemen, we're coming for your wives.
women's gonna have.
Hide your kids, hide your wives.
We all, have to work now. Most of the families both have to work, so we have the same rights. And then, we always had, but it's more now. And then on the mats also, we'll be there like everyone. We're all the same over there. We're the same, right? So
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else, Amanda?
I
Go.
don't think so. No,
you're
that's
going
it.
to say something.
No, I was just,
You sure?
That's exactly it. We are the same.
So if you like this podcast, follow us on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube at GiSquad Podcast. Share with your teammates, your friends, your training partners. And to finish that, we're going to finish with a quote from Carson Grace Sr. Life is yours. Do not let life's problems have other influences on what you believe. See for yourself.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Us.